Everybody, it is my pleasure and my joy and my honor to be in the presence of Connie King. How did I meet Connie? She is somebody who came to one of my trauma and social emotional resiliency building trainings. There were hundreds of people on this training virtually, and for some reason, my heart and soul was so touched by her every time she would unmute and talk and share. She just rose to the sea of people with her wisdom and her insight. And I kept learning from her. And I said, I have got to know this woman. And somehow Connie and I connected. And every single time we've talked and had a conversation, my soul was moved. My spirit was moved. Something kept telling me, we have got to elevate this woman's voice so that others can hear her message. And with that said about how I met Connie, I would love, Connie, for you to introduce yourself more formally. Tell everybody who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Connie King, and this is such a joy to be able to be a part of. I enjoyed all of Julie's classes. They were funny. I absolutely learned from her about myself and how to balance my emotions. I thought I had it all under control, but it's just I'm so honored, and I have so much gratitude to be here. I'm lost for words. This is just, I got chill bumps.
I know. And Connie, tell everybody what you do. What do you do every day as your job?
Every day, I wake up to the dawn to do what I have a passion for, what I love doing. I wake up to knowing that 14 or less little children are going to walk through my threshold. And I have the joy to be in each one of their presence. Something new every day, every second. And it's just, I've always wanted, well, let me go back to, I wanted 10 children. Well, hence I only had 3. I stopped at 3 beautiful children. So I said, how can growing up, I always wanted kids. My vision was, if I have a lot of kids, I'll have a lot of grandkids and great grandkids, not knowing that my destiny was going to be a daycare. So I went into daycare and not knowing this journey, but I wanted this journey. I spiritually asked for this journey, and the universe just laid it right in front of me like a red carpet. And it's so rewarding. It's so balancing. We have no idea, being a family daycare provider, the privilege we have to take care of these parents' children and to have their development in our hands. It's so important. And we learn and develop as well with them. So I take care of children.
And Connie, when you talk about this joy and this passion that you have, that over the course of your life, you've always known you want lots of kids, and you found all these different ways to do it. And you gave a little bit of your why. You have this privilege when they walk through the threshold of your home. And when you say privilege or why it brings you joy, and you talk about, like, we have this privilege of raising humans, tell me a little bit more about that.
You see, I worked in the corporate world, a 9 to 5, and it didn't match my soul.
Yeah.
And children, they bring such curiosity, such innocence. And I had a couple of friends, mind you, that said, how do you have the patience of Job? Well, I'm not a Bible reader, but I'm connected to the universe. So I looked up Job. And, it's the patience. Yes, we all have patience. However, and then a friend of mine said, I couldn't do what you do. I couldn't stand the noise. And I looked at her and I said, noise? How can laughter be noise? And on top of that, they're crying, they're fussing, the tears is also, it's joy to my ears, because that's where the curiosity comes from me to give them solutions. We have to give them solutions to their energy. when they come in, we have to realize that they're coming in from their environment with all kind of emotions, negative energy, positive energy. My job, my passion is to balance that negative. They're growing. And if we can balance their negative energies with joy and solutions to handle, because they're going to go through negative energies all through their life until they take their last breath. So if we give them tools, the solutions, that it's okay, we're going to feel this negative energy, but we have choice and control how long to stay in it. And children are growing up and I have you providers, I know you should have the emotion poster, I call it, where it picks about 15 or 16 different children, different race. And the first one is happy. And then you have sad, mad, angry, curious, shy, and etc. So when my children get in a conflict, I bring them to the emotion poster, and I have a clock right above it with a second hand. And I ask each children, how did this child make you feel? I ask what happened. They're describing it in tears. And I say, well, how did Sally make you feel? And they point to obviously sad or angry or mad. And then I asked the other child, how did this child make you feel? And I said, okay, Tommy, we're going to feel, he said he's sad. We're going to feel sad with him for 30 seconds. When that second hand gets to the 12, we have to feel sad. We make that face. When the second hand gets to number 6, that's 30 seconds. Let's go back to happy. And I do it with both of them. And before you know it, at the end, they're shaking hands or hugging, whatever makes them comfortable, and they're friends. It's okay to have conflicts, but as long as you have a solution to go inside and feel what you're feeling, because you have to.
So one of the things you're doing is teaching kids not just to feel happy, but allow themselves to have all the feelings, but to give them a pathway to identify them, to express them, to calm and to find solutions. And one of the things you do is a feeling chart, but you said something really important, Connie, earlier. You said your job is to balance children's stressors in their life with creating positive opportunities. And I wanted to get it a little bit deeper in that. One of the ways you create positive opportunities is to help them find solutions to their problems or their big emotions. But you talked about this creating joy and positive experiences. Can you give a couple examples how you do that?
We're in a new world now. Yeah. And on top of that, we have to stay balanced ourselves. So I said, what can I do? I'm not going to the park. Have too many children to go to the park, and the closest park to me doesn't have a restroom. Plus, parents don't want me to take them. They're afraid of them playing with other children and getting sick. So I brought the park to my home. Joy, swing set, rock climbing, slide, trampoline. I even purchased a water slide for the summer. All these different components. And then I have a water table. All the bounce balls. It brings joy to them for play. Activities where they're sitting next to each other and they're doing academics. You have to have this balance of joy. I can't emphasize on it enough. I just can't. I had a parent that after having their daughter with me for 4 months wanted to have a meeting. Miss Connie, my daughter has been with you 4 months, and I think you're just babysitting. I said, really? What makes you think that? Well, she doesn't know how to spell her name. I said, okay, first of all, your daughter has to learn. My children, I teach them social and emotional development first. This is not Harvard. They will learn their colors, numbers, letters, and I teach letters out of order because order is just repetitious. So they're going to learn the basics, but they're going to have fun learning how to handle their emotions and their social skills with their peers. So in saying that to you, once I capture that, once they capture it and I capture them, in a place where I see calmness and I see a direction of them understanding. Then I amplify the academics.
Yeah.
I said, but social and emotional, they have to have that. You brought me here telling me, I hope you can handle her tantrums. Piece of cake. Social and emotional first.
It's so interesting, Connie, because I hear so many layers of what you're saying. One is children having play and joy and movement. Did you know I read an article that most early childhood programs, the children play actively only 8% of the time? And most of the time they're sitting or squatting or not moving. And many kids, particularly boys and Black boys, are kinesthetic learners, this article said. And the movement is required to regulate their bodies. And then the second thing I heard is you're using all these sensory activities, not just movement, but like water tables. But you are the one who are saying we can't learn academics unless we're socially regulated and calm.
Yes. Oh my, I can't speak on that. I didn't always have this knowledge. I acquired it by different children. Each one of my children have a different personality. And I approach each one to their character. And on top of that, all these little characters and behaviors are intertwined with their peers. So they have to know, they don't know, but what I offer, and you're so correct with the jumping, my children mainly, and I have an array of races of children, they love the trampoline. They love the rock climbing. And then it's a little clubhouse at the top that I stand back and I listen and I hear the conversations. After they play so vigorously, they go into the top of the clubhouse and they have their little conversations, and it's calm. It's peaceful. Oh my, it balances me. It helps. I didn't do it going into all this. I didn't know how it was going to help. It's helping me.
You know what's so interesting about what you said is you're like, I acquired this knowledge over time. And what you did not say was from this training, and this training. What you said instead is from each individual child. And it's almost like what I'm hearing you say is that I am open and curious to learn different ways to be with different children. And I feel like, whoops, Connie, your camera's off. There you go. I feel like this beauty of, instead of I'm going to impart my knowledge on the children, I am going to be open and curious about what they need. And you uniquely serve each child. And along the way, I'm going to learn from each one of them. And that is what's so amazing.
Yes, we can't sit them down. We can't have them come into our home, our state, our centers, and sit them down and treat them all the same. It doesn't work. I tried that. I wasn't successful. I was, it's not working. Each child has to be approached to their personality.
Yeah.
If one child like to jump on the trampoline, they may want water play. And I involve myself to each one, to each activity. I'm involved in what they're learning and what they're doing and what they're thinking and why does this make you want to stay in this area so long? What is this water? Why is it so fun to you? And before you know it, and this is one thing it's so important. I know we get frustrated. We have our own lives. We have our own positive and negative energies. To keep my positive energy positive, I wake up in the morning. I do my stretches. I communicate with the universe. I give gratitude to waking up to the dawn. And I drink my herb tea while I'm walking, while I'm earthing on the grass outside, staying connected. And then I'm ready to receive the children. There was a time when I couldn't wait. I know a lot of you guys can relate to this. I'd be so glad when lunchtime. I'd be so glad when nap time. I got this long for this child to leave. You get caught up in that. So doing what I do now, I'm wanting more of that. because I've seen the universe has given me the children's positive energy back. And we're calmer. We are communicating. We're communicating. I like to communicate and talk. I have to know what these children are thinking, how they're thinking, why they're thinking. And before you know it, it's lunchtime. Oh shoot, I got to fix lunch. And when they're napping because they've played, not so much physically, but mentally communicating, they're doing something constantly. And then I have children that just like to read. I was one that had the iPads. Morning, Miss Connie, can I play on the iPad? Sure, here it is. I even bought 7 iPads. It keeps them occupied. I took them away. I only allow it 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon, unless we're on Osmo with the smaller kids and they're learning. It's such a joy. And I give so much gratitude to the universe because I don't get caught up with CNN and IT. I know it's here, but it's not here.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be in the children's. They come here, the oldest one, Miss Connie, do you know, did you take your vaccine? You know, you have to take your vaccine. The fear is in them because it's in the parents. And the parents unconsciously pass this energy to the children. So when they come, I'm going to balance it even more.
Gosh, Connie, there's a million layers of what you just said all along the way, but one I will elevate to the surface and wonder more about with you. It's this theme of that I'm hearing you say around self-care, like the joy that you have in your body comes from the restoration that you intentfully do in your morning rituals before the kids come or outside of work. So you have enough restored energy to not want to give them the iPods all day so you can, have peace, but instead you have all this joy and this energy to be able to see each individual child differently and wonder what their behavior is communicating. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because you talked about this ritual you do in the morning, and so that when they come, you have all this energy to give to them. I'm so curious about that.
Yeah, we have to have order with our inner. When my inner is out of order, I can't give these children me. I just can't. So I have to check in, and the most important thing, my earthing, but my quiet space. I have to have quiet time, whether it's a spa bath, whether it's listening to music. It's a quiet place. You call it meditation, call it whatever title that calms you. But having a quiet space with just me and the universe, God, whomever, but having this quiet space it keeps my inner checked. It keeps it in order. I find out a lot about me in this quiet space. And I do it in the morning. I do it when the kids are napping. Whenever I can find a peaceful moment, I still a quiet space. And I check in to see, because I'm not perfect. I don't want to come across and sound like I'm perfect. But sometimes my quiet space, my inner gets out of order. But the main thing that I've grown to learn is I feel it. I know that feeling, and it doesn't feel good. It's a negative vibration. So I have to balance that vibration, and I bring it back. I bring my inner back. I deep breathe, because it's not just about me. It is about me and staying in order with my inside, my inner. But it's not, this journey I'm on is not about me. It's about what the universe have blessed me with, having this gift, this passion for these children. It's about them. And it's even about adults that I meet that I can pick up a negative energy. I automatically come alive to give them a solution, not tell them what to do, but tell them, this is what I do. Try this. In other words, I go beyond the basics.
Mm.
I was raised. When you take yourself beyond this surface, there's a whole lot of beautiful things. I can hear the birds when I'm doing my walk and drinking my teas. I can hear the wind blowing. I hear the sounds of the universe. I can smell my flowers. All those things are so much more important that my problems, if you will, they are on hold. I'll deal with you later. Sometimes I'm in my inner and my peace so much when I go back to say, now, what problem was I trying to solve? It's not even there.
Wow. It's like you have
not.
this ability to be in the middle of chaos and find peace, not wait to find peace when the chaos is gone.
It's in the center. What's in the center of a tornado?
Storm. Yeah.
A storm.
Calm.
Calm. What the universe shows us. And another most important thing, I changed the way I eat. I don't use pots anymore. I have a flat grill over my all four of my eyes on my stove. And I grill my vegetables, my salmon, my shrimp. I don't eat meat. I'm so strong about my beliefs on herbs. It's in the Bible, if you will. I call the Bible basic instructions before leaving earth. That's about Bible. Now, the scriptures, I don't understand them all. Some I do. But the very beginning in Genesis 1:29, God is speaking. The Lord said, I will put the herbs, the seeded fruit from the trees for your food. Now, that's the first thing. So I said, let me try this. So it balances my, I can't even begin to tell you how it balances my body. So in that and my quiet space, the gratitude to waking up to the dawn, it's just positive energy.
Wow.
And that positive energy has to stay in order for me to allow the children to be in my presence and me to be in their presence, because they will pick up our energy. They already come with tons of energy that we have no knowledge of. So I refuse to let them be in my presence with any of my personal negative energy. I had one, I just recently, 3 weeks ago, I didn't lose her. My aunt transitioned to the next dimension. So I was feeling a little sadness. And his name is Elijah, and we call him Mr., because that's what his family calls him. And I saw him walk past me, and then he walked again past me and didn't say anything. That third time, he came and sat down next to me. It startled me. He said, Miss Connie, what's wrong? Nothing. Why you ask? It looks like something wrong. I said, why do you ask that, Elijah? He said, you look sad. And I gave him a hug. I said, thank you for noticing that. I just had some thoughts. I said, Auntie Johnny upstairs, because all my children knows Auntie Johnny. She's not feeling well. He said, oh, tell her I hope she feels well. It's going to be okay. And then he gets up and walk away. Wow. They feel your vibration.
Wow.
We have to be careful of what vibration. And it wasn't negative, because that's an emotion. And we just have to be careful of what emotion we're sending. And we can tell them if we're not take them to the emotion poster. Because when they're gone, I guarantee you, I have to remember and I go back to it.
It's so interesting, Connie. I think what I'm hearing you say is that there's a lot of important themes for us to consider. One of them is self-care we do because we deserve joy and peace and love and present moment awareness. And secondly, if our gift is giving and helping, especially children, that they pick up on our energy. So just another reason is because it doesn't mean that we have to be happy all the time. We can feel sadness, but they'll pick up on it. So we should name it. But I really think this piece is so important. And in closing, I want to ask you one question, because I'm sure our listeners will want to know. I have to know what the word earthing means, because you've used it a couple of times and I don't know what it means. What is earthing?
I take my cup of tea outside and I walk on the earth. And all of our senses, the majority of our senses are at the bottom of our feet. And when I walk out there, and sometimes I just get a chair and sit, as long as I'm connecting. Because if you remember, when a construction is being done on a home, they have to, have you ever heard of grounding? They ground the electricity to the earth. So I get that electricity. We get that electricity when we're grounded barefoot. I try to do that as often as I can. It has balanced my sleep. Every sense that is connected to your organ, your eyes, your heart, your lungs, everything is at the sensors are at the bottom of your feet. And when you touch that ground, that the earth gives you what you're created from. It's just a marriage.
Yeah. I love that so much.
It's no divorcing it. I guarantee you, take your shoes off, walk, or take a chair and put your feet and place it to the ground for at least 30 minutes or more. Wow. And I'm put when the sun is just coming up so I can get that natural vitamin D.
Yep.
You don't need much of it.
You know, Miss Connie, can I get your permission to share a story that you told me the other day about you feeling disconnected and then kind of laying down and reconnecting back to the universe? Do I have your permission?
Sure.
Well, Miss Connie was sharing with me that when I talked to her last time, that she was feeling all this stress from the losses that you had and the different things that you were going through, and you named several of them, but you said one thing, and this is how I want to close. You noticed something in your body that was disconnected or shut down or feeling stressed. That's the first question I'm going to have, is how do you notice? What clues do you notice that you've moved from peace and joy to stress? The second thing that you shared with me is you laid down, you closed your eyes, and you went inward and reconnected to a place that could not be touched by all the stress, that helped recharge you, almost like plugging a cell phone into a charger. So in closing, for our listeners, if you could just share one thing you do to notice your stress and to catch it, and then how you find that place of calm in the middle of a tornado so that you can access peace. Let's close that way.
I run to it. I get a feel. I know what it feels like to have positive energy, and I know what negative energy feels like. And because I'm so in tune with my body, and when I feel that negative, I'm not knowing that it's coming from subconsciously something that's going on. And when I feel it, I lay quietly, I close my eyes, I deep breathe, and I start talking to God or the universe. And it just all comes back together. It all comes back. Like, if I can visualize it, it's like the negative energy is just rising, and it said, here, child, you deserve this. This is what I created you from. Love. We weren't created from negative energy. We were created from positive energy, and it's in us. It's the gift. We're born with it. We just have to connect it. That's where the belief is. That's where the faith is. That's where the Bible is first.
Yep. That's incredible. And I think the last time we talked about this quote that I had read, and it was something along the lines of, if we all have the inner knowledge deep within us, like our DNA has information around resources that we can access within ourselves that are like the knowledge that goes beyond. I'm going to show this quote on the screen. I finally found it. Miss Connie, can I show it to you? And you tell me if it resonates with what you're saying or not. If it doesn't, you can come up with your own quote, but this is what you make me think of. Your body has the library of universal DNA. We can at any time connect to an internal source greater than ourselves and remember. That's what it reminds me of that you do, but does that resonate with you or not?
Thank you so much. I want to screenshot that quote and that picture, and I'm going to put it on the canvas and frame it.
I'm going to send it to you.
That's in a nutshell. That's what the universe gives us. And that's the peace here on earth. And that's what we have to get back to.
Wow.
And it's free.
It's free. Oh, Miss Connie,
so
you have been a blessing to me. And I hope that your voice will resonate and ripple through the
So do I.
Thoughts and feelings of other people. You are so gracious to dedicate your time to share your wisdom. I've learned so much from you, and I'm so grateful for you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.